Central Time. Um, 7 p.m. Central Time, we will be having our another opportunity Zoom meeting. The leaders talked about it this past Sunday in our Zoom meeting, and we decided that it went very, very well. And so on the 13th of this month, we will be having another one. You may go ahead and start advertising for it. We do have one confirmed speaker right now. I'm looking for 3 more. I have a few in mind that some leaders have shared with me. For sure, Linda will be speaking. She has an amazing story about overcoming like fears and overcoming a lot of things, and talking about this market not just being saturated with a whole bunch of young women who are successful in this, that you can be any age and be successful in this business. Let's see. I will be scheduling one-on-ones this month. I don't know which days yet this month. I will be posting that in our team page. So if you are somebody that is looking to do a one-on-one with me on Zoom or Facebook Messenger or whatever, I am going to start doing that this month. I'm going to be doing it up into my 5th gen. And they're going to be 10-minute one-on-ones where you can ask me anything and I can help you with whatever questions you have. And I think that that's really it for right now. This weekend on the 4th, so long as it's not on the 5th, I'm sorry, Saturday the 5th, so long as it's not pouring down rain in Lavernia, we'll be having a team meetup. Everybody on the team is welcome. It's at the Den in Lavernia from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And also remember the Waco training event on June the 12th. If you've not bought tickets for that yet, I highly recommend it. Emre will be there. I am on the panel and I'm super excited about that. And there's going to be so many amazing trainings and all that. So if you've not bought your tickets for the June 12th event in Waco, that is super, super important. If you can make it, it's going to be amazing. May was a kind of crazy month. And so Nina and I were sitting and talking after our leadership Zoom ended, and we wanted to come up with a way to really just motivate y'all and let y'all know that, failure is not the opposite of success. It is really a part of success. And so if you feel like you had a really, really bad month in May, you guys, it is okay. And so me and Nina were sitting and talking, like, how can we motivate y'all? How can we get y'all back into y'all's groove? And Nina was like, my friend Amy is so amazing. She is great at this kind of stuff and all that. So I want to welcome Amy onto the Zoom stage and let her do her training, and just thank her once again for doing this for us. So Amy, if you want to unmute your microphone, you can. And Nina, if you want to put her on the big screen.
Thanks, Nina. Oh my gosh. I'm super, super excited to be here with you guys. So I went to high school with Nina, and I've actually known Sadie for years. Like literally, like her and like me and her little brother used to play around on the floor when we were toddlers. Like that's how long our families have known each other. So I'm really, really honored to be on this call, and just to let you guys kind of like know a little bit about my background. So I found network marketing while I was in college, and I had just gotten out of an abusive marriage, and I was still in college, and I was working full time and going to school full time. And I was working a retail job. So I worked like nights, weekends, just crazy, crazy schedule. And I literally found myself with ulcers. And I remember just thinking, like, there's got to be a better way to do stuff. Like maybe I could work less hours. Maybe I could have a little bit more flexibility. I had taken vacation time to study for my finals. And I was like, that's not what vacation time is supposed to look like. And so I was really in that rock in that hard place. And I know I'm a very stubborn person. And so I had to almost just be brought to my knees before I found this industry. So I looked for other options and kind of just fell short. And about a month and a half later, I went to a like makeup and skincare party, and there was a pink Cadillac out front. You guys know what company it was, but the lady there was so impressive, you guys, like so like positive, so beautiful, so self-assured. And I remember her saying in the presentation, yeah, I work out of my home like 20, 25 hours a week, and I make $125,000 a year. And I was like, whoa. And I thought, well, I'm probably not going to be that good. Like she was like really good. But I thought maybe if I could even like work part-time hours and make like $25,000 a year, like that would actually like give me options for my job. And then I was like, I may not actually even be that good. So maybe even if I could just do it on the weekends and like go part-time at my job, like that would be a win for me too. And so the everything kind of took off from there. Within 3 months, I went part-time at my job, and within 5 months, I'd replaced my income. And by the time I graduated, I'd earned a leadership position in a car with that company. And I was at that fork in the road because I actually had planned to go to medical school. And so I prayed harder than I ever had and just felt really called to this industry. And so I've been here ever since, which is so cool. So I was actually with that company for 12 years, and I was asking Nina like some of the things, because I was like, I think in some ways you guys have some similar stuff where you make 50% and you've got a team. So anyway, I actually feel more confident about sharing with you guys knowing your comp plan than almost like other network marketing, because it's where I spent the majority of my time. And so I've got lots of different strategies and things that I learned from that company that may or may not relate to what you guys are doing. Also, if you ever need to pick my brain, after that, I went to a weight loss coffee company, so we can talk coffee if you want. I'm now with another health and wellness company. And so I just love it. But I love this industry. I love everybody that's a part of it. And I hope I can bring you some value and some exciting things to share. So I've been in this industry for 16 years. So I also just want to give you like some hope in knowing that like what it looks like long term, because I think it's really easy. How many of y'all like put in the chat? Let me open up the chat so I can see. How many of you guys are new to the industry, or like, can you put in there like about how long you've been in the industry? Like, is it 2 years, 5 years? Is it 2 months, a year? Tell me you like your time slots so I can kind of get an idea. 8 months, 7 months. Okay. 3 months, 5 months. Awesome. A year, 6 months, 10 months. Okay, cool. All right. So let me tell you this. When I first got in the industry, I went, okay, 6 years. Okay, cool. Someone like me. So I'm going to share because a lot of you guys are new. So when I first got in this, I was obsessed. Like I went 24/7. I was like, I have to learn everything I can about this. Like I literally would sit in front of my computer, and I actually joined in this industry like in the dinosaur ages when Facebook didn't exist, like because this was 2005, you guys. And that back then also you didn't text people because it cost money per text. So we literally would pick up the phone to make phone calls. That's how long I've been in this. So, but literally I would sit in front of my computer, and I guess I was like looking at websites and maybe MySpace. It was so different. But I literally just soaked it up 24/7. But at some point, I also got burned out. I know people are like MySpace. I'm like so aging myself. I'm only 42. I'm not like, 80 years old. But yeah, so it was amazing though. Like I loved it, but I also found myself where I was burned out. And so I want to give you guys like a way where you can look at this for the long term, because who cares if you do this for 10 years if you're burned out like for the last 8 years, right? So something that you've probably heard Gary Vee say, if you ever follow him, is he always talks about that you have time. And if I could go back and tell myself when I was 25 starting this, you have time, I wish I knew what I knew now. Because 16 years in, I've learned so many things and I'm so much further. But one of the things that he talks about, and I think we all do this as entrepreneurs, is we'll look at people that are entrepreneurs or people that we like respect, and we're looking at them like at this super high level, and we think we have to get there really fast. Or you're looking at a level in your company or a certain amount of money, and you're like, crap, I got to get there fast. And you literally give yourself a 6-week deadline, or you give yourself a 6-month deadline, or even a year deadline. And then you know what it does to us? It stresses us out, right? And you don't give yourself time to get good. So 16 years in, even if you just like work a little bit every day, you're going to be really good. You'll be shocked. But even for me at my level, I'll catch myself looking at somebody in our industry, sometimes not even my same company, and be like, dang, they've got this on point and this on point and this on point. And I got to get good at TikTok, and I got to work on my link tree, and I've got to create, like, all these things, right? And it can be overwhelming. And so either you give yourself a whole lot of stress, or you literally are like, I've got so much stuff to do. And like, you kind of throw your hands up. So I just want you to tell you, like, you have time. And Gary Vee says that to people that are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. He's like, you have time. So I just want you to truly like realize that if you're looking at some area of your business that you're not good at, you literally have time, and just take one season and work on that one thing, or take that 1 month and work on that one thing. And you'll be able to knock things out one step at a time as you go. And so I know we're going to talk about recruiting tonight. So I'm going to share with you guys, I have like 11 different points. So hopefully I can get it done in a decent amount of time. And if at some point you're like too long, or you're bored or whatever, just let me know. And feel free to like add stuff in the like comments in the chats and stuff like that. That fires me up. Like, I love to see your faces. Thank you for taking notes too. I think like you remember better if you can take notes. It'll stick better in your memory, even if you never look at your notes again. So the first thing I want to share with you that actually was really helpful for me and my mentor, that she told me in my first 6 months, is she said, recruiting is the same skill as selling. And that was important for me to hear, because I was really good at sales. I think a lot of you are probably really great at sales, right? Like, okay, it's easy to sell a mascara. It's easy to get a customer, but how do I get a recruit? So the same skill that you're using to share about the products is the same skill that you're going to share about the business. We used to do skincare parties, and at the end of our parties, we would literally have like set sheets. And so we would say, well, we've got this set sheet. It was about $100. We have this set sheet, or I think it was like $50 for one set. We had another one was like $100 for another set, or you could get the really big, amazing set for $250. But whatever you want to do is great with me. And so that same kind of thing is going to be something that you can share as you're talking about recruiting, is you're talking about all of the different bells and whistles, and like what you have to offer with recruiting. What would be the value of somebody being able to join the business? And of course, just like you're going to take a customer and help customize their product experience, you're going to take a possible prospect for recruiting and customize their experience. Like, you're not going to take a girl who is more interested in a 5-minute dash out the door look and be like, let's sit down and I'm going to teach you how to do smoky eye. Right? So same thing with your recruit. You're going to be able to match their experience of what would be the value for them. What are they interested in? What's exciting for them? So that they can have like the thing that they're the most interested in. And if you haven't studied a lot about personalities, I really recommend it. They have the DISC formats. They have the color personalities. You guys may have already covered that. Perfect. Okay. The 4 color personalities. So you want to keep that in mind too. I'm not going to go into that. That's like an entirely other training, but you definitely want to think about that, because I'll tell you that the biggest thing with the color personalities is you, as whatever color personality you are, want to explain things to all of your prospects in what's important to you. So if you really like details, you want to explain all the details to everyone. If you want to go fast and you don't want to talk about any of the details, you're just going to skip all that and just talk about the stuff that's important for you. So in some ways, I feel like the personality styles was helpful for me to get my own self out of the way, so I could really focus on the person in front of me. The second point I wanted to share was that when I was building this, and just an easy way where I was helping getting customers and recruits, is I always heard you share products and the business equally in the same. So like I was always taught, like, it's like we have 2 hands. So you have your product hand and you have your business hand. And so in every presentation, in every situation, when you're talking with a customer, when you're getting on a Zoom, if you ever get together in person and do a facial, or do like a party, you always talk about both, at least a little bit, so that it's talked about. Because I think a lot of times we just talk about the products and we don't ever talk about the business. And then we go, well, why does nobody want to join the business with me? Because we never talk about the business. So just figure out ways that you can make it fun to engage people in that. In Zooms, maybe you have, as people participate in stuff, they get like online tickets or something, and it goes into a drawing at the end for, a product or a set or something that they get to have. We used to do that a lot in person, but even online, there's lots of fun ways where you can use engagement to get people excited. We even used to, like, if they would ask a question about the business, they would get a ticket, like just lots of things to engage people and get them excited. Even me just asking you guys, like, put stuff in the chat. Like, the more that people will engage in your, whether it's in person or online, the more buy-in they have and the more excited they're going to be and just like listening to everything you're saying versus them just being like tuned out. The third thing is, just as a rule, as you're, again, this is something you're probably doing with the products, but I want you to think about this for the business as well. So if you share the business side with somebody and it's not for them at that time, right? Because no doesn't mean no, never. It just means no, not right now. So if it's not right for them, then you can ask, well, okay, so it may not be right for you, but who do you know that would benefit from this, or you think would, that would be helpful? And they may give you nobody, but who knows? Like, just by you asking that question, they might go, you know what, my sister-in-law, she had a baby and, she's been kind of like depressed. Like, I don't know, like she didn't go back to work, but I think she's kind of like lost herself. Like, maybe she would have fun doing this, like, you just never know. If you don't ask, you'll never get the referral. So ask for referrals. The other thing is you can follow up with people. And what's really great about skincare and makeup is it's consumable. So ideally, you're following up with your customers and your prospects anyway, because they got product and in a couple months they're going to be out of it. So as you're following up with them, then it's very natural, without even like having to like be weird about it. You're just like, well, what's been going on in your life? And you listen, right? You listen for open doors. You listen for things to be different. You listen for something that would make them maybe reconsider it. I mean, people are losing their jobs and, lots of different things have happened in the last year. And so you just never know when that timing will now, instead of being a no, turn into, yeah, let's look at that again. And then the big thing that I always recommend doing is talk to more people. So track the people that you actually share the business side with on a monthly basis, because oftentimes we live in our heads. We do our network marketing business in our heads 24/7. Am I right? Like, you think about the person to call, you think about what to say, and the day goes by and you may have done that with 5 different prospects, but you never actually made a phone call or a text or a message. So actually taking the time to like track the people that I literally would make like I would have just like a little sheet of paper and I would number it like 1 to 40 or whatever and put June 2021. Okay. And then every time I shared the business side with somebody, I would write their name and I would write yes, no, maybe, whatever. Also, this is a great way to follow, like to check back in with your prospects, because maybe somebody said maybe, and you're like, okay, well, I need to put them in a 3-way chat with my leader, or I need to get them to another event. They need more information. They need some different kind of tool than I've put them in front of before. The other thing that I actually didn't have on here, but I just want to share, is be sure to get your leaders involved in as many of those conversations as you can, even if it's just a little 3-way chat in Messenger, because you're having 2 different people in the conversation talking with them is really valuable, because sometimes we can, as a leader, we can ask some different kinds of questions. We can teach you as you're learning, but also even for me, like, I have leaders above me too, and I've always engaged them in the conversation because now they have more points of connection. And, if you know more people doing pharmacy, are you more likely to think that pharmacy might be a good thing to do? Right? So maybe they start following your leader. And now, I mean, I've had this happen before where I like talk to a prospect and now I've noticed they've friended my leader and I'm like, good. Now they're seeing posts from her too, and so it just continues to like give those more drips so that they can be excited about, the touch points until they're ready to join, basically. So, and also one thing I'll share is, like, we live in such a great information age. So if you don't feel good about recruiting, you can learn more. So like hop on YouTube and like watch some people that recruit or get some new wording, or get, the GoPro book, and they have the 7 skills in network marketing. There's lots of different things that you can do to boost your recruiting. And it's not necessarily that you have to be the best salesperson. In fact, I feel like in some ways you just have to be the best listener and help find, again, those open doors of where this can really, really help them. And also, recruiting is an attitude. Like, you got to have confidence, you got to have a little bit of swagger, you got to feel good about what you've got going on. The more confident that you are, the more likely you are to get them in a place where they're excited to start with you. Like, let me ask you this. If you were looking at joining someone and they were not confident and they were not self-assured and they didn't seem to be going anywhere, would you be like really excited about following them? No. You can even think about the person. Let me ask you this, put in the chat, the person that you signed up with, what was it about them that you were like, yes, I'm signing with her? Like, put it in the chat really quick. Like, was it they showed up on social all the time? They seemed really kind. Her energy. Okay, that's so great. Excited. Number one customer. Real, fun. Yes, authentic. Amazing. Product of the product. Yes, product of the product. Really kind and genuine. So all of these things are the things that are going to attract people to you. So, and if you don't have confidence in that area, just work on it. So like, if you feel like you don't have confidence on the product, get on some of the training in your back office and learn more about the products. If you don't feel confident about the comp plan, jump on some comp plan videos and figure out how that works, or talk to your leader, use the product. Like, there's a lot of things that you can do to boost your confidence. Because I'll tell you this, if you, like, let's say you're a nurse and you've been a nurse for a long time. If I asked you to get up and do a 10-minute presentation about nursing, without batting an eye, you'd be like, totally cool, I can do that, even if you're an introvert. If I asked you to go do a 10-minute presentation on electrical engineer and you're not an electrical engineer, like, some of y'all already like totally freaked out right now. Like, what am I going to say? And it's not because you're not a confident person, because in this other area, you're confident. So you just have to build the confidence in pharmacy, in the company, in the culture, in your leadership, in the products, so that you feel really good about sharing it with people. Okay. So love that. Okay. I want to give you guys some fun stuff that I learned. So this is pulling the curtain back from my other company of things that we used to do to help with recruiting. So use these promotions if they help you. If they don't, if you think they're dumb, cool, like, just take what helps you. Okay. So my first promotion is, we used to call it Listen for a Lip Gloss. So we would have a hotline or a video, somewhere between, I don't know, 8 and 20 minutes that people would watch. And just for watching it and then getting back on the phone with me, or it could be a 3-way chat with your leader just for answering X number of questions, they would receive a free lip gloss from you, or a half price item. If money is really, really tight for you, since you guys get them for half price, cool, you can do it for half price, and that way you're not out any money. But that's something where you're able to give something to them in order to receive. The second thing you can do is you can do a big drawing. I've done this with a group of people where we've all like pooled our money together for like $10 and went to like Kate Spade and got like a discounted purse. And we would do it, like, we would run it for the month of June. Like, every single person that would, listen and give us feedback would go into the drawing. I've even done it for myself. Like, I've had times where like nobody on my team was doing anything. And I was like, cool, I'm gonna go I bought an iPad, and I did it for, once I had 50 people that were able to listen to the business. And it also pushed me, because like, now I got people waiting around, like, they're like, well, when's the drawing? And I'm like, I'm at like 30. So like, it kind of pushed me and put a fire under my feet. Like, okay, I got to get to my 50, because I've got like 1 and 2 are waiting for the drawing, and they want to know if they won the iPad. So you could also do something like that. So some sort of big drawing, where it's not even like each person gets an item, but like a big, just a fun drawing. So the other thing that you may already be doing, but if you don't, I recommend having an ad tag message group where you not only have product testimonials, but have some business testimonials. I've heard, and this is just my own personal opinion on this, so like, I've seen different people in network marketing do it different ways. So they'll have sometimes an ad tag message product group, and then they'll have one for the business side. But like, then like your customers never see it. And they're like, well, we don't want to annoy them with the business testimonials. I'm like, so again, I want to share both in the same. So that's just something you might consider doing, because who knows that your customer 5 years down the line, when timing is right, just because they saw you were talking about foundation and they were talking about some girl that was able to pay her gas bill because she joined pharmacy, like, hey, it's just more drips. So if you guys don't already have something like that, I would recommend setting that up. You can talk with your leaders. I'm sure you already do. Another thing I like to do is sometimes I will give, and I don't know if you have samples, but you can probably create samples if you don't have samples. Okay, you do. Perfect. So I will give away samples to get a booking. And what I mean by a booking is maybe that's a facial Zoom. Maybe that's a way for me to get in front of somebody in person. I used to do that when I was in my skincare business. I still do that with my health products, where I will, like, in order to get in front of someone, I will send them, I'll mail out like, a facial or a makeover or whatever. And then we'll plan a time to get together on Zoom or FaceTime, and I'll walk them through it. And guess what I'm also going to do while we do that? I'm going to share my story about what this business has done for me. I'm going to weave it in while we're talking about products. And then at the end, I'm probably going to ask her to listen for a lip gloss. So I'm literally going to get all of that. Also, I don't know if you guys do parties, but a lot of times I was always focused on turning my facials into parties. So now that they like the product and they're buying stuff, I'll be like, hey, would you like to be able to get a discount? Why don't we do a Zoom party? Why don't we do an in-person party? And I would book them for another presentation with some of their friends so I can continue to grow my circles. Another thing, if you haven't done this and you're like, gosh, I have no recruits and I want to get some recruits, the first place you should look, if you haven't already, is go back to your best customers and your best hostesses. Okay. So, if those are like your hottest prospects, and so you can just come to them and since they probably love you, since they're your best ones, you don't necessarily have to offer them something. You could be like, hey, I need to do this for my practice. Would you be willing to just give me your opinion? And they totally will. Like I said, if you want to throw in a lip gloss or a half price something or whatever, you can totally do that. But most of the time, your best customers and hostesses, like I even saw it somewhere in the chat. So they're like, yep, I lost my best customer because she joined my team. And I'm like, good, that's how it's supposed to be. So that's another thing. The other thing that you can do with bookings, like when you have your parties, is if you haven't already done this, at the end of all of our parties, we would add up all of our sales, all of our new customers, all of our future parties, all the new recruits, and we would tip our hand to the hostess and be like, so we just sold $500 and we have 2 new parties on the books and 1 new team member and like 10 customers. And by the way, they're all your friends. So I can either take this party or it could be for you. Do you want to go ahead and sign up? Like, hello. And I'll tell you the biggest tip that I learned from Eric Worre in this industry that I never knew, but it makes complete sense. When people are trying to decide to join a network marketing business, any company, they literally ask themselves this one question. And I asked myself the same question when I was 25. Do I already know a couple of people that if I did this, they would buy from me? Because our ego won't allow us to fail that badly if we can't. So they literally like are going through their head the whole time, like, who do I know that would buy mascara? You're like, all your friends, but they aren't thinking that. And so I literally was at my party and my mom used that company's products and had since the 70s. And so I literally, after I said, well, maybe I could make 25,000 a year. And then I was like, well, maybe I could make enough for part-time. And then I was like, well, if I'm really bad, my mom will buy from me. So at least I have 1 customer. That literally went through my head. And I'm a type A, firstborn, pre-med, don't fail. Like the kind of person you would think like, oh, they're bulletproof. No, even that girl still asked, would I at least have 1 customer? So that's really helpful, I think, in a lot of ways. If you can get anybody to get their friends in front of you and watch their friends buy, super easy then to flip them over to joining the business. Okay. The last thing I was going to say is if you guys are in a place, it sounds like I love that you're doing an in-person get together for the team. I was like, yes, girl, we need community again. We're ready. But if you can, doing some in-person presentations, whether it's a facial, whether it's a party, do it, because like people are so hungry for the connection, for the community. And like just in my company last week, we were on a company call and somebody did an in-person presentation and had 9 people join their team. So like people will be more likely to join, I feel like, sometimes when you're in person. So not that you have to build your whole business in person. In fact, I'm about to give you site. Okay, can you hear me? Okay.
Sorry, that was my bad. I was trying to meet somebody else and then it.
You're good. You're good. I was like, oh, I'm muted. So again, I'm going to give you guys social media tips too. So it's not like you need to build entirely in person, but I do think there is some value to that. And you can even come up with some fun stuff like hot girl summer is so trending, right? Like, could we not do hot girl summer with pharmacy? Like, oh my gosh, like bronze beauty. Like, I mean, you guys can come up with some really fun stuff. We used to do muffins and makeovers. Like you can do wine down Wednesday and do like a wine lip. Like there's so many fun things you can do. And of course you guys can serve coffee too. So like, that'd be really fun with muffins and makeovers. You're like, and here's our coffee. So just all sorts of fun stuff. So if you have ways where you can do that, it's really, really good. Hot mom summer. Okay. That's really cute. I like that. Okay. So on a totally different topic, I just wanted to share with you guys a couple of things that I think are helpful. So this is number 6. 5 was all promotional ideas. So it was like A through G. Some of you are like, I don't know where the notes are, but number 6 is, why do people book with you? So whether they're booking a party, whether they're booking like an appointment to hear more about the business side, we used to call them like coffee chats, stuff like that. There's 3 reasons why people will book with you. The first is there's something in it for her. And that's why I was talking about listen for lip gloss and like having a drawing for things, like, you know, people love that. Funny enough though, sometimes they'll do it more if there's something in it for you. So like if you need to call up your leader and be like, I need you to like challenge me that I have to go get 10 opinions, you know, or I need to talk to 20 people about the business, or like whatever you want to say, so that you can go, like you can call up like your best people and be like, my leaders challenged me to do this. Will you help me? Guess what they're going to say? Yeah, sure, girl. I'll help you. If it's just like my opinion. Yeah, sure. The third thing is they'll help you because they like you. So either there's something in it for them, there's something in it for you, or because they like you. People do business with people they, you know, like, know, and trust. And of course, even with joining, I feel like it's even more that way, right? Like you had to like them. They had to be genuine. They had good energy. You were excited to invite them into your life. The other thing I wanted to talk about, this is 7, is I wanted to ask you guys, why do people join? And put in the comments, like real quick, like, why did you join pharmacy? I want to know. The discount, I know. 50%, girl, like, I think y'all, like 50%, like y'all probably get your products cheaper than Walmart. Like, I know that's how it was for us. I was like, I don't know why you wouldn't want to use our products, because it's fun. For the commission, some of y'all needed money. What else? I wanted to quit my job. I'm a natural salesperson. Wow, I like that level 10 confidence right there. Yes, Barbara. So awesome. I needed something more and something that was mine. Yes, 100%. You needed, you know, the community. This is good. More time with your son. I love that, Erica. Commission, home base, stay-at-home mom. How many of us, y'all know, like the number one thing that was trending like during quarantine is like work from home jobs. We got it. We have it going on. Yes, more than a mom. So that's what I put. Like I put community, I put self-growth, I put the money, I put confidence, I put the discount because I knew like that's a good discount. So all of those. So here's something you can think about is with all those different things, how can you create posts that inspire that? And also you might even occasionally like take your posts and send it to one of your girlfriends that like isn't in network marketing and be like, how does this make you feel? because I think sometimes in this industry, we've done it right. And I feel like sometimes in our industry, we've done it wrong. Would y'all agree with me on that? Like, do y'all ever even look at other network marketing posts and you're like, okay, that makes me want to throw up? Like, I mean, truly, because sometimes like spam for sure, but even like sharing your life, like sometimes like y'all talking about the graphics and the spamming. I'm talking about like, I don't know, like sometimes where people will put down other like jobs. I don't love that. Like, I don't think it's good for you to, I used to do this where I would put down 9 to 5. Guess what you're doing? You just marginalized all of your prospects because you told them they were dumb because they have a 9 to 5 job and you're better than them. So stuff like that, even like sharing your life, like people, I think people are overseeing like the cars and like, oh, I'm so glad I'm having margaritas on my porch with my girlfriends because I do network marketing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like that vibe. So like try to find, oh, here's what people do love. People love stories. So what are the ways where you can talk about that same thing, but from a story and like an emotional space? So for example, like sometimes when I tell my story and I talk about working a retail job, I talk about working nights, weekends, holidays. I talked about going into work when it was dark and coming out when it was dark. I talked about never seeing the sun. I worked at a bank in Walmart. And if you've ever been in Walmart, they have like windows at the top, like little like storm windows, but that's it. And I would literally not see the sun for like days at a time. People can relate to that. I literally talk about, because of my network marketing business, I was able to step out into the light. That with like some great light image or like the sun streaming behind my head or something is actually inspiring instead of like, look, I'm so great. I have network marketing and I do this full time. So just find some ways where you can tell stories that are emotional and grab people's hearts, because what we have is really, really special, but we can also do it in a way that just feels, ugh. You're working in a hospital right now from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Girl, yes. That can be something that you can share now. You can share in the future. You can talk about how if your kids wake up in the middle of the night, you don't get to take care of them. I mean, just there's so many things, right? That every woman, or I'm not even a mom, but like that makes my heart hurt just thinking about that. So, okay, I digress. I went a little too far down the road on that one. Okay, so fun stuff you can share on social that's really important is share $50 to $100 stories, okay? So share about stress and how things are different now. You could have a picture of you at the gas pump talking about how 5 months ago, you literally had to put every gas bill on a credit card and hope you could pay it off every month. But now you can just put in your debit card and pay for it. You can talk about groceries. You can talk about stress. You can talk about how your mindset is different, like where you were depressed and now it's not that way. But here's the problem that we have sometimes, because we look at network marketing and we see people that are making $1 million a year and we think, oh, when I make $1 million a year, I'm going to have a great story. Let me tell you, I'm friends with the $1 million earners and they're like, you don't want me to tell my story because none of your prospects relate to what I'm going through. They all think I'm some pie in the sky crazy person and they'll never be that girl. Even me, remember, like I was like, oh, she makes $125,000 a year, but she's really good at that. I'll never be her. Maybe I could make $25,000 a year. Maybe I could make $300 a week, right? So that's where your prospects live. So even if you have made really great money in the industry, I want you to talk about $50 to $100 stories, because those are the ones that really inspire people. And hopefully that also inspires you, because you can probably sell like a skincare set and you're like, cool, I already did that. I can share about that this week, you know? I mean, you can call reorders and you can probably get that, you know? It's so amazing. So sharing those are going to be your best stories on social. You can make posts about that. Those can be in your stories. And here's the other thing that we often do. We will talk about products And if you talk about products like on social, you will get customers. So if you want recruits, you have to talk about business stuff. Because a lot of times we get stuck talking about our products and then we're like, why do we have all these customers and nobody wants to join my team? So again, change that conversation. And it doesn't have to be all business all the time, but figure out what that golden ratio is for you, that when you are sharing about pharmacy, like what percentage of it is about business and stories and rank advancements, and they're like somebody's story about how they joined and what they were able to do for their family, or your $50 to $100 stories versus, oh my gosh, like we have this amazing coffee that came out, like I love my mascara, like this moisturizer has changed my skin, grateful for it. Like all of that's good, but just realize like it's kind of almost two different nets. Okay, perfect. And then the last 2 points that I have is, and this is kind of like as you continue to grow in your business, is find ways to grow personally. Like read books, and I'm ADD, so I get it. Like I don't like to read books. Then get Audible, listen to podcasts. You have to change your brain. They literally say 5 years from now, the only thing that's going to make your brain different than it is today is the 5 people you hang around and the books you read. Meet a leader who does not read. Like it's unheard of. Tony Robbins talked about how he took a speed reading course and he literally read like 250 books in a year or something ridiculous. And then the next year he like became like a public speaker. And like every time I ever listen to him, I'm like, he knows exactly what he's talking about. So make sure you're reading books, because that's the only way you're going to grow yourself. Because even if you get a huge team, your team will end up falling to your level of leadership. So if you have this massive boost in your team, like you want, like we all want this, right? Like we want to have like, I'm going to bring on this girl and she's going to go on fire. And then like all of a sudden, like things are going to happen. But if you don't grow yourself personally, you'll have that. And at some point you'll lose that team, because your team can only, like the leader is the lid on your organization. So you are literally the lid. It's like the burden. It's like the exciting thing about network marketing and the curse, right? You're like, I'm not further because of me. So always find ways to do that on a daily basis, or at least a weekly basis. It's super, super important to make sure that you're growing. Also find ways to build your confidence. Again, we talked about some different things you can do. You know, if you find that you're not confident in your company, your culture, your product, yourself, that's probably the one you're going to spend the most time on. But find ways to boost your confidence, find ways to get help. If you have limiting beliefs, work on that. You know, like there's lots of things you can Google and you can YouTube, and there's coaches out there. There's tons of people. I've always spent a lot of my money on learning more from the pros. In fact, like I'm in Eric Worre's Go Pro Accelerator program this year, and it's like $10,000, but I was like, it's worth it because I have to get better. I have to improve. I'm with limiting belief coaches. I do all that kind of stuff because I'm always trying to improve myself. So find out what those different things are for you. And it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. Like I said, YouTube's free. There's lots of options, but make sure you're doing that. Another thing that you want to look at doing is recruiting up. Like try to go after people that are at your level or higher. If they have great confidence, if they've already been successful in what they do, they can bring that over. I think a lot of us, when we first come in, since a lot of you guys are like new first year, what a lot of us do is we look for people with a need, who has no confidence, no friends, no money. Let's save them, bring them into pharmacy. They can be in this positive culture. They can be with all my friends. I'm not saying don't recruit them, for sure, but also go after high level people, because a lot of the people you bring in, if they're really negative, guess what? They come in and now they're really negative and now they're on your team. So finding ways where you can recruit up. And I'll be honest, I don't always have the confidence to do this by myself, which is why I always use my leaders above me. Because if I can make an introduction and then my leader can do the whole presentation, that's cool. Because I literally don't have the ability like to ask the closing questions. Like I'm scared of them. I can't say a word. But if I include a leader, they can recruit them for me and they're not scared of them. So that's another really great thing you can do. And then the last thing I was just going to share with you guys to continue growing yourself. And I'm sorry I went kind of long on this call. I think they're normally 30 minutes and I went super long, but I even tried to pare down some of my stuff. I took some stuff out, but I was like, this is what I think you guys want to hear. Is as you continue working on your brain, is affirmations and how powerful they are in changing your brain. Oh, thank you, Danny, for saying that. So affirmations are awesome. I have one that I heard on a CD with my makeup company. And I used to be scared to book. So again, like if that's like a weird word to you, like we used to book parties, we used to book facials. And so like I would open up my date book and I'd have snow blindness. And again, this was like when we did everything in person, there was no Zooms. And I'd be like, well, I have nothing on my date book. Like I'm not even in business this month and I do this full time. That's kind of scary. And so right before I'd make phone calls, I would do this affirmation. And like the first day you feel like an idiot, you're like, whatever. And then day one, like day two, you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to say it. And day three, you like start to get excited because you start to believe it. And like by day four, you're like, I believe this. And like everything changes. So like our little affirmation for booking was, I love to book. I book everywhere I go because we used to go meet people in person, like in the stores. I love to book. I book everywhere I go. Everyone books with me. My date book is always full. So change that to recruiting if you need to. You know, I love to recruit. I recruit everywhere I go. Everyone wants to recruit with me. My team is always full and growing, right? So affirmations, as dumb as they sound, they actually work and you can do them for any part of your life. I have more intense affirmations with like my specific goals. I always recommend also praying over your business, spending time by yourself, making like plans out, like take time to like journal and figure out what you want for your life, figure out what you want for your business. And a title and a money position will never be it, just so you know. Your why has to be bigger than that. So please figure out what that is. Like for me, if you ever go on my Facebook page, I'm really passionate about water wells in Africa. And I have been for a long time before I even joined my company. And the company I'm with, they literally help build water wells in Africa with like some of the company funds. And so that is my why. That gets me up every day to share my particular health products, because I literally know that somebody in America is taking vitamins and someone in Africa is pumping water from water wells. And I was the reason for both of those. And like, hello. So as you're journaling and figuring out like what your why is, it's never a money position. It's never a car position. If you guys have cars, it's never any of those things. It has to be something that it makes you cry, and it's really, really important. And the last thing I would say, along with all these affirmations and the praying and the journaling, is get a vision board. These are like two of my vision boards, but this is my like ultimate vision board I made. And I made it like even before I was in my company. In the very middle of it, it says, I'm going to give $1 million to water wells in Africa. And that is my why. That is like why I do what I do. You can print out stuff from the internet, which is really nice because then you get the exact image that you want. You can flip through magazines. That's how I got these. But you can't always necessarily get exactly what you're looking for. Sometimes that's kind of fun because it's like you see what the universe gives you. But if you don't have one of those, I really recommend it. And actually, like my top one is my top recommendation. There's very few words on here. Your subconscious moves in images. It doesn't move in words. So even though I know I have this 100 powerful women, which is awesome, it's not going to go into my subconscious, where the images of me traveling and my healthy body and the water wells in Africa, the actual images start to marinate on my subconscious, and they literally start to take over your brain and make them come true. In fact, just for fun, I will show you one of my other, this is one of my other, oh, you can't see it very well. Okay, that's one of my other vision boards I did one year. And I just liked over here on the left, this image of the living room. And one day I bought new couches and I wasn't really paying attention. I was on the second story of my house looking over the balcony, and I'm looking down in my living room and I realized I have gray leather couches. And it was because I put it on my vision board. even though I didn't actually want gray leather couches. So be careful what images you put on there, because they say 88% of anything you put on your vision board will actually come true. So even gray leather couches that you didn't plan on buying, they become part of the deal. So I think that's actually all I have for you. And 5 minutes to the hour, I think that's plenty. But I hope this blesses you. If you ever need anything from me, you can find me on social at Amy Lafitte. I'm always happy to help you guys answer questions, do whatever. I love that you guys are a part of pharmacy, and anything I can do to support you, I'm 100% here for it. And Nina, thank you for the opportunity of letting me speak to your team.
I just want to say thank you so much, because do you want me to remove the spotlight now? Let's see. Let's do gallery view so we can all see each other. I just wanted to say thank you, because that literally gave me goosebumps. I have like a page and a half of notes now. So, and it's just great to hear like outside perspective. And I love that you came from a pink Cadillac.
Yes, girl. I know. It's so crazy to see like how similar the companies are. Like I said, I was like, I feel more confident about doing this, and like even just like traditional network marketing stuff, I'm like, this is my jam. I know how to teach on this.
Well, I know we all appreciate it like a ton. And if y'all don't mind, I want to get like a picture of everybody like real quick. So just like be like, hey. Awesome. Thank you, because that's gonna go on my stories.
Perfect. That's so great to put that on your stories and be like, this is our company and this is our community and this is what we do. I love that.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much again. I don't have anything else, Danny, do you?
Yeah, I just wanted to come on and tell you thank you so much. Our team really needed this month. We had a kind of off May, and me and Nina were sitting and brainstorming one night until almost midnight after we had a leadership meeting, and we were like, what can we do for these girls and women and men on this team that need some kind of motivation. And I was like, I would just really love to be able to get like a guest speaker, someone motivational. She was all, oh my God, I have a friend named Amy and she's so amazing. And I think that she messaged you late that night. But thank you so much for this. Like, I mean, I don't think I've ever had 33 people on one of my Zooms before.
Oh my gosh.
So thank you
so
so
honored.
much. Thank
I'm
you.
so honored. And I'm so like, it's so much fun. Like if you love to speak, it's like exciting to get to like share. So
listen, Danny loves speaking so much. I had to get her a tiny microphone.
I have a tiny microphone.
I want one of those. That's the cutest thing ever.
Everybody in here that knows me personally will tell you I love to talk. Like if someone tells me to do a training on something, I'm like, I'm your girl. Get me on stage. Let's go.
You're like, so, I'll have that out to you in 20 minutes.
I will do it without even being prepared.
But she doesn't know what to do with her hands.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
That's why you hold the microphone and then you're good.
I'm going to hold my microphone and I'm going to talk. And I'm actually taking this to our big training event that there's going to be over 500 people at, that I'm going to be on stage for, and I'm going to hold it while I'm speaking like this. So, but no, thank you so much for taking time out of your evening. We really, really appreciate it. If there's ever anything Nina and I can do for you, just let us know. We're here.
Yes, 100%. I mean, that's what I love about this whole like network marketing industry. Like, I feel like we're all on the same team,
One team, one fight.
Yeah. And even though it seems like there's a ton of people in network marketing, we're actually a really small portion of the population, if you don't know. Mm-hmm. It's like less than 1%. So like it may feel like there's a lot of people because we all know, like we start to become friends with all the other people in the industry, but it's really, really small. So I feel like really blessed to be a part of just the network marketing team and this industry. So, and just the people that we are and like how we just continue to grow. So
community over competition. That's what we say.
Yes, I was about to say that. I was just about to say that too.
There is enough people in the world. We're not in competition with each other.
Yeah, exactly.
There's enough room at the top for everybody.
There actually is. Yes, 100%. That's awesome. Well, thank you guys. I so
Thank you
appreciate
so much, Amy.
Thank you, Amy.
that.
If y'all want to stay, if everybody on the team wants to stay on for just 1 minute, um, that would be awesome.
Oh, she's so sweet.
I know. I really, really hope that y'all enjoyed that. Thank you so much, Nina, for putting that together, reaching out to somebody for us. Like, that's just another way that we're community, well, collaboration even over competition. Like, Nina could have done that just for her team, but she did this for the whole entire Glow Getters. So I just really appreciate you doing that for us, Nina, a lot. I'm hoping that more as time progresses with this team, we'll be able to get more guest speakers for y'all from other companies, from pharmacy. I'm just really hoping that we can do that. The leaders have really been talking about things like that, trying to figure out what we can do for y'all to help y'all be successful. I don't know if y'all saw my comment in the chat when she was talking about like